Did you see that when DB came back and played for us, that they got mad that our fan base was booing her?
I don't believe in booing former players unless they left on like some few type shit.
Sophie Cunningham just lit a fire on her podcast with revelations nobody saw coming. The Indiana Fever guard, who shared the court with DeWanna Bonner in both Phoenix and Indiana, finally broke her silence on why Bonner really walked out on Caitlin Clark in the Fever mid-season. And trust me, her take will make your jaw drop. Cunningham didn't sugarcoat a thing. She called out Bonner's handling of the exit as flat-out unprofessional, exposing behind-the-scenes details that flipped the entire narrative we thought we knew. According to Sophie, the way Bonner bailed wasn't just a bad look, it was a slap in the face to her teammates and the fans who supported her. If you're with Sophie on this one, drop a "good riddance" in the comments. This chapter might finally be closed, and it's clear the Fever are ready to move forward without the drama.
I like DB because like DB was one of my vets when I was in Phoenix, and then we gathered here into Indiana, and like it was kind of a surprise that she was signed to Indiana anyway, and so we'll take her in a heartbeat. Like she's a Hall of Famer, she's a hell of a basketball player, can score from anywhere on the court.
When DeWanna Bonner joined the Indiana Fever, it felt like the missing puzzle piece had finally fallen into place. This wasn't just another veteran signing. Bonner brought a stacked resume and the kind of championship experience every young team dreams of. The move shocked everyone, but in the best way possible. Fever fans were buzzing, convinced their young superstar would finally get the veteran guidance she'd been missing.
I'm sure there were plenty of teams going for your services, DeWanna, so why was this the right opportunity for you?
I just feel like it was the location for one. My kids are literally right up the road, and I've spent a lot of time away from them, so that and the core that they have here now is just kind of want to fit in, and be another piece of the puzzle, and hopefully bring the energy dynamic and take us to a different level in the playoffs.
The press conferences seemed to seal the deal, or so it appeared. Bonner stood at the podium, hitting every talking point about being thrilled to play with Clark and eager to help push the Fever toward success. She positioned herself as the perfect missing piece, a veteran mentor for the sophomore star, plus a reliable scoring threat. Sophie Cunningham, who'd played with Bonner in Phoenix, backed it up, calling her a Hall of Famer and one of the most versatile scorers in the game. Even Caitlin Clark bought in, praising Bonner's strong voice in the locker room. You could see Clark's excitement in those early team moments. The Fever front office was ecstatic, fans were energized, and it felt like this veteran addition could raise the team's championship ceiling.
You know, DB is somebody that, he's a Hall of Famer, like a legend, not only a good basketball player, a great person, a great leader. The strongest voice in our locker room is hers.
Then the games began, and Bonner's play told a very different story from those glowing pressers. Across 9 outings, she averaged just 7.1 points per game, with shooting numbers that left people questioning if this was the same player they thought they'd signed. Her 3.8 rebounds and 1.6 assists per game weren't just mediocre, they were flat-out disappointing for someone with her resume. But the stat sheet didn't capture the whole picture. What really stood out was her body language. Bonner looked disengaged, moving like she'd rather be anywhere else. Fans started questioning what was going on, teammates traded uneasy glances, and the coaching staff was left in a no-win situation.
Bonner, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. See ya, wouldn't want to be.
I don't want to come off the bench is not a personal issue. I don't like my role.
The situation hit a boiling point when coach Stephanie White made the tough call to bench Bonner, just weeks into the season. Think about that for a second, a supposed veteran leader, sidelined before the team even had a chance to find its rhythm. The locker room tension was impossible to miss. Fans who'd bought into the hype felt blindsided. Players who expected guidance got silence instead. That benching should have been Bonner's wake-up call, the moment to rally, prove her value, and live up to her own words. Instead, it became the turning point towards something far worse than cold shooting or lazy defense. The veteran who had vowed to mentor Clark was about to show her true colors, and it would shatter the image she built in the public eye.
Her minutes had significantly dropped from last year. Well, in turn, If her minutes drop, a lot of her production numbers that she can see and the rest of the league can see also dropped with it. Look, she's just like Natasha Howard. She looks old on the court. All right, not trying to be this is not ageism. She looks like an older athlete. All right, she looks slower on the court, and the team has been lacking energy. It's been a serious problem. Seriously, long overdue. Let her go to the place where she feels she would be the best.
Being benched was bad enough, but what happened next pushed DeWanna Bonner's situation from disappointing to downright bizarre. One day she was riding the bench, barely seeing the court, and the next she was gone. No announcement. No farewell. No explanation. The Indiana Fever simply marked her absences as personal reasons, which, in sports lingo, usually translates to, "We're just as confused as you are."
Came over here, she signed a max contract, she knew Phoenix didn't have the bread, she got 80 here and went and got the rest over there. I think it's trash.
I wouldn't do anything differently. You took 80 grand from the Indiana Fever. You could have just signed. Like, that's one of the things, like, I don't understand why you take these interviews. I don't understand why someone would take an interview and say that, when the reality is that all you did was took a whole bunch of money from a team to not show up.
You refuse to show up.
The timeline of Bonner's disappearance played out like a bad soap opera. Game after game passed with fans scanning the bench, searching for any sign of her. The team stuck to the same vague line about personal reasons, but no one was buying it. Reporters pressed for details, and you could see the uncertainty on Coach Stephanie White's face, as if even she didn't have a clear explanation for what was really going on.
You refuse to show up to work while receiving money, while taking payment. You refuse to show up and do the job. And let's be clear, you wasn't even good while you was here. You was shooting threes hitting the side of the backboard.
But this is definitely going to be a part of her history, man. Because the new wave is taking over. These new fans are watching. So at the end of the day, yeah, it's going to be a part of her history, unfortunately.
This whole situation put the Fever in a no-win spot. The worst part was watching teammates field questions they couldn't possibly answer. Reporters kept pressing about Bonner's return, and players like Caitlin Clark were forced into polite, canned responses that fooled no one. You could see the frustration beneath the professionalism. Clark had counted on a veteran leader, and instead, she got nothing but silence.
This is DeWanna Bonner. I wouldn't do anything differently. I think my journey is my journey. I'm going to accept that. It carried me to where I am now in Phoenix, and it happened that way for a reason. It didn't happen that way for a reason. You forced yourself out of Indiana, DeWanna.
Then the truth started to surface. Rumors spread that Bonner had no intention of coming back. The personal reasons line wore thin as weeks stretched into a month. Players subtly shifted to speaking about her in the past tense. The real bombshell dropped when it came out she wanted to join the Phoenix Mercury immediately, mid-season, while still under contract with Indiana. The audacity was unreal. Her absence wasn't about family or health, she was simply unhappy and wanted out.
I just don't understand this. I don't understand why DeWanna Bonner is taking these interviews at this point in time. Because I'm like, look, you're in Phoenix, you've got what you wanted, you've got what everyone expected you wanted all along. Everything's gone your way. Indiana haters are going to love you because you screwed over the Fever. They're going to love you because you screwed over the Fever. Phoenix Mercury fans are going to love you. Rival fans are going to love you because you basically screwed over the Fever. Fever fans are going to hate you because you screwed over the Fever.
This walkout hit the Fever's locker room harder than any losing streak. Caitlin Clark had praised Bonner's leadership and presence, only to learn that voice belonged to someone who would vanish without a word. Instead of veteran guidance, Clark got a front-row seat to a masterclass in unprofessionalism. Bonner's sudden leap to Phoenix made the truth plain. Those personal reasons were just code for "I don't want to be here anymore." She left her teammates scrambling to fill the gap while she chased a better situation for herself. Then Sophie Cunningham broke her silence on her podcast, "Show Me Something," and everything shifted. Cunningham wasn't speculating from the outside. She'd played with Bonner in Phoenix, then again in Indiana, watching the entire saga unfold up close. When someone with that kind of inside knowledge speaks up, you know the real story is about to come out.
But she got to Indiana and she just like really wasn't happy. And like, I want people to be happy. So that's why I'm kind of like neutral on this one, which a lot of people are surprised about. She's towards the end of her career. So like, she deserves her flowers. She deserves to be happy. But I also think that if you're going to leave, like, you're going to have to expect getting booed. Like,
Was there explanation when it happened? No. Not even privately? Yeah, I mean, okay. That's tough. And, yeah, okay. Well, I did say unless you leave on some fuck you type shit, and that's what that is, so.
yeah.
The bombshell Sophie Cunningham dropped was simple but devastating. She confirmed what everyone had been whispering: Bonner was never truly happy in Indiana. But Cunningham didn't stop there. She went beyond the obvious, calling out the way Bonner handled her exit in a manner that stripped away the polished public image. Her words painted a picture of a veteran who, instead of facing adversity head-on, chose the path of avoidance, leaving teammates blindsided and trust shattered.
I'm still rooting for her. Like, I want her to end her career and be happy. But I also think that, like, it's okay to be professional about it. And, like, send a text to your teammates. Send a text and be like, hey, like, love you guys. Or you don't even have to say love you guys. Just like, hey, sorry this didn't work out. Good luck. Da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? Like, there's a way to handle that, I think.
Here's where Cunningham really went for the jugular. She laid out, step by step, how Bonner should have handled leaving, and her criticism was precise. I'm still rooting for her. I want her to end her career and be happy, but I also think it's okay to be professional about it and send a text to your teammates, Cunningham said. Then she doubled down, zeroing in on Bonner's lack of even the most basic courtesy. She wasn't demanding a big farewell speech or a teary locker room moment, just a simple message to say she was leaving. The fact that Bonner couldn't muster even that bare minimum effort spoke volumes about her character.
I doubt DeWanna Bonner had any idea that how dirty she did her teammates on her way out of Indiana would ever come out to light. But Sophie Cunningham said, hold my beer. I got a podcast. I got this platform. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm not going to toe the company line. I'm not going to protect narratives. I'm not going to follow agendas. I'm going to tell you how it all went down. And DeWanna Bonner disappeared like a ghost.
Cunningham's words carried weight because she wasn't just an outsider lobbing criticism. She had been Bonner's teammate twice, knew her personally, and was willing to publicly say she handled the situation unprofessionally. That kind of candor takes guts, especially in a league where players usually keep internal issues under wraps. The effect was immediate. Fans finally got the inside story they'd been waiting for, and analysts had concrete confirmation from someone who was there. Cunningham's decision to speak up showed just how much frustration Bonner's actions had caused, even among former teammates. Her honesty gave credibility to what everyone suspected but couldn't prove.
When we say DeWanna Bonner quit on her team, she literally quit on her team. She didn't say, hey, this isn't working out. She just didn't say anything at all. She didn't say, hey, wish you guys good luck. She just didn't say anything at all. While she was conspiring behind the scenes on how to get out of Indiana, how to take that money and run, she left her teammates in the dark. She left her teammates just like us, wondering what the heck is going on. And Sophie Cunningham is shedding some light onto that entire situation.
July 30th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse brought the showdown everyone had been anticipating. The second DeWanna Bonner hit the floor in a Phoenix Mercury jersey, the Indianapolis crowd unleashed. The boos started during warm-ups and didn't let up for the rest of the night. Every time she touched the ball, the noise swelled into a wave of jeers, leaving no doubt about how the fans felt about what they saw as her mid-season betrayal.
Foul on Sophie Cunningham, that is their first team second. Coming in, the mark of Phoenix, number 14.
What made the scene even better was Caitlin Clark's reaction from the bench. Sidelined with a groin injury, she looked like she was having the time of her life watching Bonner get roasted. Cameras caught her leaping up and celebrating every defensive stop against her former teammate. The joy on her face was unmistakable as the team she'd stuck with shut down the player who walked out on them. Her energy from the sideline said everything about how the locker room truly felt about Bonner's departure.
Bonner battling with Hall. Bonner turns, fades, fires, and leads it way short. Great defense there by Hall. Copper tracks it down and bounces for Bonner, who had her shot blocks. And it's a shot clock violation. Bonner walled off by Hall. And then blocked at the rim. Indiana has that 5-point lead with third.
Then Alyssa Thomas, Bonner's fiancée, poured gasoline on the fire by taunting the fans. She told Fever supporters that Bonner had joined a real team, easily one of the most disrespectful shots she could take. This is the same Alyssa Thomas who had previously claimed she felt unsafe in Indianapolis because of racism from Fever fans. Now, she was openly antagonizing those same people while her girlfriend was getting demolished on the scoreboard.
Bonner booed in her return, which is to be expected, considering the circumstances in which she left. And the players that have come in for the Fever are much better than Bonner was for them. Ari McDonald has been a revelation. She was great in this one again. And Chloe Bibby looks like a perfect fit. So all in all, Fever fans have to feel pretty damn good about that win.
The contrast between Thomas's antics and the Fever's composure was striking. After the game, Aaliyah Boston and coach Stephanie White answered questions with complete professionalism, steering the conversation toward their team's performance instead of sinking into petty drama. Their calm, respectful approach made it clear why the Fever's culture is rooted in character and integrity.
What was it like having DeWanna Bonner return to Indiana, and what were your thoughts on the fan reception tonight?
Honestly, that got nothing to do with me. I think DB returned because we were playing Phoenix, and so that happened to be that. The fans chose to do what they wanted to do, but for us, it's about paying attention to what we have to do here, and that was coming in and getting a big win, which we were able to do.
The real satisfaction came from Bonner's poor performance, 4 points on 1 of 4 shooting in 21 minutes. This was supposed to be a veteran scorer, yet she was completely shut down by her former teammates. The same player who couldn't handle being benched in Indiana was now exposed on the court. The Fever's 107-101 victory proved that team chemistry beats individual ego every time. It wasn't just a win on the scoreboard, it was justice. Bonner's absence removed drama and negativity, allowing committed players to thrive. New additions like Ari McDonald and Chloe BBY blended seamlessly into a system built on commitment and respect. With Clark's return on the horizon and roster chemistry at an all-time high, the Fever are poised to make serious noise in 2025.